He's really he's shameless in intellectual argument. He's absolutely without character, a moral foundation, or even intellectual substance.
Yeah, not much on my time off. Just sitting around reading, drinking kratom.
Kratom.
Yeah,
What is that? I
it's
see
like
ads for it
yeah,
everywhere.
it's like
When I was in the
legal.
US, I saw it. Yeah.
It's legal in the US. It's like a opiate alternative thing, but it's like got like therapeutic qualities of like being like anti-inflammatory, and it's nowhere like near as like dangerous or addictive as like opiates and stuff like that. Like I think you could get addicted to it probably.
Hmm.
But it just kind of like feels kind of nice. It's
Hmm.
nothing too crazy. Like drink a bit of kratom and then smoke weed is like puts me in like a really good mood to just read a book kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like because it gives you like the like if you smoke weed or whatever, you'll get like the feeling of being high, but without like your mind getting the kratom will dull kind of your mind wanting to run off in every single little direction,
Hmm.
which is something I have sometimes problem I have when I'm stoned reading is that I'll like read one sentence and then my mind will just run with that. And then I'm like reading the words, but not like thinking about them. I'm thinking about whatever thought tangent my mind's gone on. So the
Hmm.
kratom will kind of like dull that out a bit. And yeah, so, but it can like
Are,
make you kind of nauseous sometimes though if you take too much.
are you one of these uh, uh people who's gone mad for the deer antler stuff that RC has
Um,
been
I
promoting?
haven't tried it yet, but I do want to try it. So I think the next time I do a super feast order, I'll get some to see what the fuss
Everyone's
is.
being so like coy and stuff about it, like they're coquettish ladies or something like that. Just say that it's like dick stuff. Like,
Yeah,
stop being like, oh, I tried this. I can't possibly tell you about like what it is, but it's just like they're like dick pills essentially, right? Like that's what it is.
I think that's one of the
It's libido or something like
benefits
that.
of it is that
Yeah.
it'll like increase your jing or whatever.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't know. I think like it's sort of like it's that, and it'll also help with like muscle recovery,
mm,
and give you like energy. I think it just like G's you up in like every way, so you get
mm,
like more energy, and then that also transfers into like sexual energy. It's my assumption. So
mm,
I haven't tried
mm.
it yet, but I do want to try it.
Yeah.
So I'll
That
let you
is
know.
that is a thing though, like energy and sexual energy and stuff like that. I don't know if I've said this before, but like I feel like you know how boxers have that like thing about, you shouldn't like
Oh
have
yeah,
sex
yeah,
or jack off before a fight or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
I think there's something to that. Because
I think so.
I feel the same way with like writing or creative stuff. Like you have to have the sexual. You can't like bust and then do something creative because you just want to like sleep. Like you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like.
totally.
So there's something to like channeling that into productive ends, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely like a fine line because it can go the other way, where if you're not like releasing it, then you're like
Mm.
too like wound up and you can't
Hmm.
like focus. You can't concentrate enough or whatever. Like you're just too overly. So it's like this fine line. Like I think if you're a boxer, yeah, maybe not the night before, but like a couple of days before you should.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it's just everyone's got their own individual calculation on
Hmm.
when
Hmm.
like yeah. Sometimes I'm just like, I just got to do this to stay out of the papers. Like, like I can just tell,
That's a good
like,
line.
I
Might use that in something one day. That's
think I
good.
stole it from like Louis C.K. or something.
Okay.
So,
No,
um,
yes, I totally know what you mean as well. Like,
that's what he's
I,
doing to those women. He was like, I'm just trying to stay out of the paper.
I remember, uh, Oh yeah, I can't remember what it was. Like it was some social situation. And I was just talking to a bunch of women and they were like they were joking, like they were talking about like men's sexual like um requirements, right? And they were
Yeah.
joking and they were like, saying, "Oh yeah." I forget who they were talking about, but they were like, "Oh yeah, he's got needs." And I'm like, "Yeah, he does."
Mm.
Like
You've got a
it's
responsibility to
yeah,
take care of
it's
those.
like you will go crazy, if that need is not met. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, some
Like again, it's a balance. Like if it was the other thing, like like the South Park dystopia, whereas like the guys writing jokes on a computer and they're just like the machines like cranking them off or something, like that'd be heinous too, to just be like you're just too drained, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
just to be constantly like, oh God.
Yeah. It is you need your vril to be charged, right? Like, but
Yeah,
vril's got something to do with semen, I think. I don't know, but like,
I guess so. Yeah.
male energy.
Is that a thing? I know it's like virile or whatever, and then that'd be
Mm,
derived from the Latin via, which just means
mm,
like boy or man or something, right? So
mm.
yeah.
Anyway, we are here not to talk about secret men's business.
Yeah.
We are here to talk about our year in review for 2025. It's coming a bit late because we did the demons at the back end of the year, and that sort of went into 2026. But yeah, we thought we would do a kind of year in review of like what we've been reading, maybe what we've been watching and stuff like that we enjoyed. I thought we would separate it into like, if you want, I don't know if you've got enough on your list for this, but things that came out in 2025 and things that we just read in 2025. I don't know if you can separate
Yeah,
them.
we could do it that way if you want. Like my list of things that actually came out in 2025 is pretty low. So most of the
Okay.
stuff I read last year was that I really liked was not written in 2025.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm not even sure if any of the books on here are from 2025.
No, that's all right. Well, let's start with like things that came out at another time and we read in 2025. What's first on your list?
Of books I read last year, and I'm kind of like things that we did episodes on, I'm just gonna like not really go into, but
Yeah.
like I do think Gary Indiana's Resentment was probably the best book I read last year, but we already
Mm.
did a whole episode on that, so I won't go into details about that. But other things that I really liked that I read were all right. This is my list. 1Q84 by Murakami. So that was
Oh
dope.
yeah. Tell us about that.
It's a really odd book. Like it's like it's kind of in that like Neil Gaiman style of fantasy, surrealistic fantasy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know, problematic.
Speaking of
Yeah.
men with needs.
Yeah. um yeah, it's like I don't know, like I've never read it. Oh, actually no, I have read one of his books, The Ananasi Boys or whatever. It was all
Oh,
right.
yeah.
And I
That's a
liked it.
sequel to American Gods, kind of.
I think so,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I've seen the show American Gods. I actually have a signed copy of American Gods that I found, like a
Really?
hardcover that I found at an op shop. And then once he was like cancer, I was like, ooh, the like totemic spiritual value of this thing just increased. Like the virility of it just got cranked up. But yeah, 1Q84 is like it's like set in the modern Japan. I think when it was written it was like 2000s or something, but I think it's set in like the 80s. Uh, oh yeah, 84. It's like 1984. And basically it starts with this chick like getting in a taxi and then something's just weird. She's just like, this is just odd. Why is this taxi so nice? And like the sound system's so good. And then like she's like running late for this like important meeting. Like and then she's like, oh, I need to go, and they're stuck on this like highway, like a yeah, overpass highway, whatever you call it. And like he's like, well, there's like a service exit there you could get off at, but just know like, you know, you're making a choice here and like things may not be as they appear, blah blah blah. And she goes down this like little emergency exit, and then she's like noticing things like that cop's got like a weird gun. When did cops in Japan start carrying that type of gun? And like things like that. And then like eventually she like starts to realize like she's in like kind of a slightly alternate reality, and that's why she calls it 1Q84, which is kind of also clever because like Q is 9 in Japanese. So like
Mm.
1984, so 1Q84. So she calls that the year she's found herself in. And then there's like another guy, there's like another perspective, like every alternating chapter is this guy Tango, and he's like what's his deal? He's like an author, or he's not, yeah, he's like an amateur writer, but he works for some um like it's like a literary competition for high schoolers or something like that, and he judges them. And there's just this one book that comes on his thing, and it's just so like it's poorly written and the style's really bad, but he's just so captivated with this thing. He's like, come on, this book has to get something in it. And then this guy he works for is like, this book has heaps of potential, but like it's so poorly written, it won't do well in this competition. But let's like, you're a good stylist, you fix the style of this book, and then we're gonna like get the chick who wrote it to release it. So it'll be like, he's like, my instincts are on this are so good. He's like, I know this will just turn into a huge success if we just like enter it in as this other chick. This 15-year-old actually wrote it, but you fixed up all the style and stuff, and it'll win, and then it will turn it into like a bestseller. And so it has this like conspiratorial vibe just from the beginning. And I won't go too much into everything else. It just gets crazier, and it's full of like really like perverted sexual stuff, and like just it's a really strange like sort of fantasy conspiratorial mystery thing. And it doesn't have like exactly like everything's explained, but I think that's for the best. Like it's when it's nicely left a little bit open kind of thing. So yeah, I thought that one was really good, and I listened to it as an audiobook, and it went down a treat as audiobook. So
do you, maybe you should do a companion episode to your Murakami one.
Well, that's how that happened. Is I was trying to find someone who wanted to talk about that, but no one had like read it recently enough, and it's like 1,000-something pages.
Oh, okay. It's
so
one of those books.
That's why I hit up Big Mac. Was like, well, we just do another one, and so we did. And everyone sort of tells me, they're like, yeah, that book's good, but it's not his best book. And I think Big Mac likes the Wind Up Bird Chronicle more, but I still liked 1Q84 more. So maybe that's just first book bias or something like that. But I just thought because like the Wind Up Bird Chronicle is more like this sort of meandering a million little threads off in different directions, surrealistic thing.
Isn't that more of a sensitive young man book too? Like,
yeah. I think they're like very much like single, sensitive young men kind of book, lonely men books. But 1Q just kind of just feels more like it's like a real masterpiece of a novel kind of thing, where the other ones are more like he's just goes on like you can just get the sense he just writes, and there was like a serialized thing, so it's like kind of like aimlessly writing and seeing where it ends up, whereas 1Q has more of feels like it's actually more of a vision from the start. But yeah, I don't know, maybe one day I'll do an episode on it. Probably by that time I'd have to reread it again, but I'm sure I'll enjoy rereading it. And I did, I know I've mentioned before, like me and Josie do the reading challenge every year. Fucking kicked her ass last year. Finally.
And how did you do that? Just because she's got all the romantasy books, right? And
she
women
just kind of slacked off a bit.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, the page count was pretty high for both of us. I think I was like 16,000 pages and she was like 12,000 pages.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know. I think
probably Demons helped with that. Dostoevsky's Demons.
Well, actually, I didn't finish that till this year, so I'm already off to a good start as well. But she's really kicking it. She's already finished like 4 books this year. She's been reading like 300-page romances. That's kind of the key, is to pick shorter books actually, because you get through them really quickly. Whereas long books tend to like demoralize you, and like you just like. And then I always have a bunch of books every year that are unfinished anyway. So this year I'm going to really go through and try to finish off all of those books before I start too many more, other than ones like I need to read for the podcast. But anyways, the point is the winner gets to assign the loser a book they have to read. And so I assigned her 1Q84.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I think she'll like it.
The Saints.
Look, I don't want to be too cruel about her or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if she gets mean with me, and like that's why I read the Anansi Boys, as she signed that to me a couple of years ago. And yeah, she'd beaten me 4 years in a row. So this was my like, Broncos winning the fucking state of origin after whatever. Like, so yeah, so I assigned her that. So I hope she likes it. I think she will. I don't want to be too mean. It was like, it was either going to be like 1Q84 or Little Big, or I don't even know what else it was. I had a few options that I was like considering to So, but I thought, oh, like this one, is
Mm.
like, because the temptation is to assign her a book that's going to take forever to read, but not really be that many pages.
Mm.
So that
Mm.
when she finishes, she doesn't even get to add up like a lot. You know what I mean? Like here, you can read volume one of Capital or whatever. Well, that probably is a lot of pages.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like that's the temp. But that's then if next year comes, she's like, well, fuck you then. You can read this dog shit. Like, so yeah, I try to be not too mean about my assignation.
Hmm. Well, one of mine that I read was a sort of not necessarily a classic, but one by a kind of canonical author, I guess. I might have mentioned it last year. It's by D.H. Lawrence. It's called Sea and Sardinia, and it's kind of like his a travelogue of his time in southern Italy, and he actually wrote heaps of travelogues, which I didn't know, but like I think that's how he made a lot of money early in his career. And he was quite good at it. And this one is amazing because he hates it. It's not like, it's almost like, I haven't read it, but I've listened to the Rare Candy episode on it, Song of Kali, right?
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
how it's like just really describes India in like the worst possible terms. That's this for southern Italy. Like maybe not as bad, but like it's not as abject, but he has this kind of like sneering, very like English problem with like Italians in general, and like how the way he describes them congregating is like lemons and olives, and like how the plants all like twist in together, and he finds it so like repulsive. Like, and how like the men are very touchy feely with each other. He's like, ugh. um and he's complaining the entire time about the heat. Like it's so funny. Like, and because he's such a wit as well, like it's really fun to read. Like it's not just endless moaning like, a typical English person who complains. Whinging pom, we call them in Australia. But it's like it's just really it's like we were saying in the Dostoevsky episodes, where how Dostoevsky is such a hater. And like there's a little bit of that in this travelogue, which is like you open it up and you're thinking like, oh, this will be a wonderful adventure in like southern Italy before it was sort of like developed, because it still is to this day kind of the most undeveloped place in Italy. But like you're like, oh, this is what it was like, and like you're expecting this kind of romantic view of it, and particularly because it's D.H. Lawrence who has romantic tendencies, but not. He's just like, I hate this.
Imagine if he went to India.
Yeah, I don't know if he did. Maybe he did.
Maybe he's like, this
Um,
place is great. It's
yeah,
way better than
maybe.
that fucking Italian bullshit. Yeah, that's a
So,
lot of those authors love those like Italian like memoirs and stuff. Like Goethe has one and stuff like that, where it seemed like the thing they all sort of did was just like you go on a trip to like was somewhere more exotic and you write like a travelogue memoir. I
mm,
guess like nowadays you wouldn't bother because you just watch a YouTube video on it, but
yeah.
like we'll go there. It's not that
Well,
crazy.
yeah. Well, in the UK in particular, it used to be called, what was it called? The Grand Tour. And so
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
what people would do would go over the continent and they'd see all the sites. And usually it's like if they were classics students, so Greek and Roman, like they spoke Latin and Greek, and like they went to all of the monuments and all that sort of stuff. And it was a real cultural experience. Um,
Mm.
but then it's just funny how you expect that when you go to Italy or whatever. But there is a kind of historical through line, but it's also like history is messy, right? There's so many conquests and so many different people have moved in, raped those people, their descendants have raped other people, and all this sort of stuff. Like, um, there's this sense of grandeur about like the Roman stuff in particular, but like when they you sort of rediscovered after the Middle Ages all of these ruins and stuff in Rome, or like opened them up to the public. They were like being used as barns, like It's so like there's this, yeah, it's not like they're very grand things to look at, but like I love how yeah, history is this like uh it's not as there's not this like straight line from like Roman Empire to modern Italy or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So I got that sense in this, and it's great writing too. Just the way he describes it is like there's always like a negative valence, and or if not negative, but then something skeptical about like how the Italians, the Southern Italians in particular, live their lives, which I thought was really kind of delicious to read, and that was really fun. I loved that one. You
Yeah,
can find
nice.
it on Project Gutenberg. That's where I got it, so it's free.
Oh, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I have a bunch of D.H. Lawrence books, but I've never read like any of them.
Mm,
I've seen the Women in Love film. That's about it.
mm.
It
I want to read the one about Australia. It's called Kangaroo, I think.
really?
Yeah, yeah. It's about because he came to Australia and basically wrote about it.
There's
Um,
like too many fucking Italians here.
not back then.
Really? Oh yeah.
Mm. But yeah. Yeah, no, so apparently he's equally savage about Australia too, which makes me want to read it. So
Yeah, yeah. That
yeah.
sounds pretty good. Maybe we should do that one at some point.
Yeah, we should. We should.
We could get one of our compatriots
Mhm,
come on or something. Yeah,
mhm,
that'd be
mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, what was your next one?
Colin Wilson, The Philosopher's Stone.
Oh yeah, I've
I've
heard you rave
mentioned
about
this.
this one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And just because you said Song of Cali before, I actually did have that on the list as one of the books that I really liked that last year too.
Mm,
But yeah, Colin Wilson, The Philosopher's Stone. It's kind of like basic. There's like a thing at the start of the book. And the reason I was like curious about that was because Colin Wilson's like kind of like a figure in the occult. Like he wrote this book called The Occult, but it sort of came from like he he was sort of commissioned to write like a summary on the occult or something like that, like a thick just book about it. And he was kind of like skeptical of it all. And then through like his sort of investigations, he came to like believe there was something real about it. And he's very like scientific in the way he does it, but like not completely read it. Like he's very open minded at the same time. The Occult is I've read like half of it. It's a really good book. Like it's really easy to read and fun. Like that's the thing is like with you were saying with D.H. Lawrence books, like with nonfiction stuff, like sometimes it's just like a textbook. Like it's just like
mm,
so grueling to read, like lists of times and dates and things. But if you get like a nonfiction author that can actually write well, then it's just feels like reading fiction, like where it's
mm,
just like
mm.
anyway. So I was curious about him, and then I was looking on Audible, and like the Philosopher's Stone was just on there, and like I listened to the sample, it sounded good. But basically, he wrote it because he wrote some critique of like H.P. Lovecraft or something, and then this guy who was like a big publisher of Lovecraft was like, "Oh well, why do you think you could do better?" And he was like, "Yeah, I actually do." And then like, and so he wrote this book in like it's like a Lovecraftian horror kind of thing. Like it's always kind of like this unknown, like chthonic, deep within the earth kind of force that's been like awakened or something. And like, but it's really like a fascinating book. It's really fun. Like it has a lot of like little tangents that goes on, and like the whole universe it's in is just like I can't even fully remember the plot, but it was something like this guy. Um, yeah, what the fuck was the plot? Can't even remember, to be honest. But it was
Was
something
it
about
about
like,
the
sorry.
Philosopher's Stone?
Well, not exactly, not in like
Mm,
the hermetic alchemical
mm.
sense exactly. Like, but it was sort of just more like there was like sort of oh, that's right. Yeah, he does this like experiment to like he's like has this theory about like human life and longevity, and he's like, look at all these like mathematicians that living past 80 and stuff like that. Like, and he's got this theory that like if you're like constantly like engaged with life, like that sense of novelty is always there, and you're always keeping that'll keep you alive longer. And then he's trying to like see if you can just like create that sensation permanently, and does these experiments on these people where he like injects like this tiny like amount of metal into their brain or something like that. Like, and then it just like has these things where a few people like they become like geniuses very temporarily, but then like kind of burn out. But then he like somehow gets it right and like figures out how to like and there was some other thing to it, but yeah, he like does it to himself eventually. This like surgery, and like he's like all of a sudden like has all these enhanced powers of perception, and then he like convinces this other guy to do it, and then they're like really like able to like kind of like you'll like there'll be like a memory associated with a place. They can like look at like this like old house and then like start to like look into the history of it. And so they're
Mm,
doing things like that, but then they start finding objects where it seems like it's just like blocking them. It's not letting them look into it, like
mm,
ancient artifacts in certain places and things like that. And then they keep trying to like push through and then like realize like this is like some dark force that really does not want to be looked into, and like it sort of starts like causing accidents, as like it'll cause them to like nearly kill themselves on the highway and things like that. And then like it's just like really like this Lovecraftian thing. It's like the thing's not even conscious that you're trying to look at it. It's just like a defense mechanism that's automatic kind of thing. And it goes into like lots of little philosophical tangents and thoughts on like it's sort of some of his like theories from that book, The Occult, where he has like this idea of like humans have this faculty X kind of thing, which is kind of, you know, like an occult power can be observed through like whatever remote viewing or telepathy or, you know, predicting the future. Like he'll say things like, you know, people will say like astrology is like the scientific system. He's like, well, no, you have to be kind of like naturally a good astrologer for it to work for you. Like you can't just like teach someone and they're going to be able to
mm,
do this. It's more like people with this in like latent ability are the ones who tend to be able to figure that stuff out, kind of thing. So anyway,
mm.
it's like a long, it's just like a fun sort of Lovecraftian horror that explores these themes a bit, but it is way better than any Lovecraft book. Like I like
Really?
Lovecraft, but like, you know, there's some issues with the style and stuff like that
Yeah.
with Lovecraft. Um, yeah, no, this is just, yeah, really recommend that one, The Philosopher's
Okay.
Stone.
I'll read that. I've got to read The Occult too, because you said there was that when I was looking for Egypt stuff, you said there was Egypt stuff in that. That was
Probably,
probably
yeah,
the
yeah. It's just a good, it's just a fun book, and like
overview.
it'll give you like
Mm,
some insights into the occult. I think he has kind of a unique, because it's not like coming from, you know, like you'll read some other occulty books and they're people who are just like fully bought into it, and
mm,
there's a bit of like that sort of confirmation bias happening with those types, where he's
mm,
more like, oh shit, like he has other books. I got this one here by him. It's just Poltergeist, and he because I think he like investigated some poltergeist claims and like thinks some of them are real, kind of thing.
mm.
And I think there's some poltergeist stuff that happens in that Philosopher's Stone book, like they're talking about it, and like it turns out it's like the teenage daughter's just like psychically manifesting all of this like chaos in the house, kind of thing. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, he's like it's basically like puberty, like that's causing this. Um, so yeah. Anyway, yeah, The Philosopher's
Mm,
Stone, good book, definitely
yeah.
recommend, and the audiobook's good.
Yeah,
Very
cool.
creepy.
Mm. Well, I have put a few things that we've looked at on the show, so I don't need to say too much about them because we've already talked about them. But like reading Alice Munro for the first time
Oh yeah, yeah.
was really cool. Like it was I think it was on Michael the guest's suggestion, like because I asked him what he wanted to do for the show. And I wouldn't say I was skeptical, but I was just like, oh, okay. You see Alice Munro, it's like one of those names, you know, like, I don't know, Joyce Carol Oates or whatever. Well, Joyce Carol Oates, Paul Della Rosa has been reading Blonde, and he's like, he can't stop talking about it. Apparently it's really good.
I
Just
have
like,
a copy of that
yeah.
somewhere.
So I'm not saying that, you know, Oates is like this, but like, you know, one of those names that is like, an
Maeve Binchy.
Maeve, yes, yeah, that's a better name. Yeah, Maeve Binchy. Yeah, mum fiction,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
But no, it's not. Alice Munro is not mum fiction. Like, um, it's sort of, yeah, very erotic in the more dangerous like side of things. Which, you know, given her controversies after she died, um, there's a lot that people might want to say there. But she's just a really great stylist too. And I think this year, a lot of my choices this year have made me realize the virtue of like, I wouldn't say plain language style, but like writers who are very perceptive and precise, you know, rather than You know, because I used to love a long sentence and I used to love an ornate sentence and, you know, all this sort of shit. But last year it was all like just quite by accident. We read a lot of people who were just like really honed in on things and like really kind of very observant socially and emotionally, politically, or whatever. And I think she was one of those for me. Bit of a revelation. And we read "Who Do You Think You Are," which was great suite of short stories.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that book was really good.
Mm.
Yeah, I definitely want to check out more of her stuff.
Yeah, yeah. What about you? Have another
What else do I have on here?
Song of Kali? You said.
Yeah, I'll just because there's the whole Rare Candy episode you could listen
Mm.
to on that one. I like was just had an Audible credit I needed to use, and
Were
they
you on
were
that one? I can't remember.
no,
Mm.
because like I just got the book because yeah, like I knew they were doing it, and like
Mm.
I had an Audible credit, and I was like, that sounds cool, I'll check it out, and I listened to the preview on Audible, and that sort of decider if I hate the voice or if it just doesn't hook me in within that 5 minutes. I usually don't bother.
Mm.
Um, but the literally like the like opening like forward or whatever is just like I dream of Calcutta being nuked into glass and stuff like that. And I was like, all right, this sounds good. He's like, I used to be open-minded and blah, blah, blah. And now I went to like anti-war protests and anti-nuclear weapons. And now I just want nothing more than for Calcutta to just be like
Yeah.
nuked into oblivion.
Yeah,
And so I was
yeah.
like, hell yeah, let's check it out. And
You're listening to that as the useless subcontractors
yeah, yeah.
come into your
Yeah, they
workplace.
just
Yeah.
like leave the microwave door open and red sauce all over the counter.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the toilets at work, they put up these like little signs the other day, and it was like, please wash your hands after going to the toilet, you know, and they had like a pair of like a, you know, clip art like white hands. And I was like, whenever it's white hands, you know, that's like it's not aimed at white people. You know what I mean? Everything else is like you catch the bus and they're like, it's always like a black mulatto chick checking the phone app, like, hey, just get the bus app, like everything like normal or whatever. And then when as soon as it's like something like antisocial, we'll use a white person for that.
Yeah.
It's not the white people who aren't washing their hands, you know. I know they don't eat with the same hand or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so what was I talking about? Song of Cali. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just great. That was just a banger. That was a lot of fun. Like it's really quite brutal, like emotionally upsetting book as well. Like it
Mhm.
goes like way in a different direction than you expected. But yeah, listen to the Rare Candy episode on that one. I couldn't really say anything
Yeah.
beyond
That's a fun
that.
episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Another one that I read because Rare Candy did was Donna Tartt's The Secret History.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that. Have you read that one before?
I haven't read it, but I've got it on. It's been on my like to read list forever because I bought it and I still have it. I haven't read it. I think at some point we were going to do it on I'm So Popular,
Oh
but
yeah.
and so that's why. But I haven't really started it. But I will.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And again, I audio booked it and Donna
Mm.
Tartt like did the narration, which was
Mm.
kind of weird at first because the main character is like a guy. So it took
Mm.
me a minute to realize like, oh, that she's meant to be like a guy or whatever.
Does she
But
do the "I'm a guy" voice?
no, not really. She just talks kind of like
She's too serious for that.
yeah, she just talks like a southern lesbian or something. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if she is a lesbian, but so but that was really good. Like just a genuinely like every second of it was like enthralling, like a good
Mm.
sort of conspiratorial tone. But then it has the yeah, like the I guess it's like the template for dark academia or whatever.
Yeah.
Like where
I was going to say, which is now distributed into the culture that like even boomers know what it is. Like
yeah,
my dad is obsessed with dark academia. Like
What?
so yeah, so like boomer, and this is someone who like didn't even go to university. So he's an ex-army guy, like not like your typical boomer, but you know, has a lot of boomer traits. Is on the younger side of the boomer generation. But one of the boomer traits is the house has a media room, a theater, or no, theater room. That's what they call it. And lined up on, so there's the big screen, obviously, and lined up next to the big screen is all of their like thousands of DVDs that they got during the kind of peak DVD era. Which they don't watch any of those anymore because now they have all of the streaming, which the passwords of which they steal from us.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but he's like decorated the theater room like in the dark academia style. So there's like a
Oh, yeah.
bust here, um, a shelf of like stylish, darkly colored books there. He's like stained
Some
all of
like
the
Masonic looking symbols and
yeah,
things.
and then he wanted for Christmas when we went up. I think not last year, but the year before. Um, he wanted a Galileo thermometer, which I don't even know what the fuck that is, but like it's apparently an old version of like, and it uses it's
I was like the floating
yeah,
things and they
yeah, the
float.
floating thing.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah,
whatever
yeah.
one is on the top is what the temperature is or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so and he's like, oh, look, he was so chuffed with that too. He's going, that's going straight to the Dark Academia Theatre room.
Sweet.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really funny. It's really funny that Dark Academia is for them to watch TV, essentially.
Yeah. Would you like a book, Dad?
No,
What?
no. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I want to retire to the study and watch Breaking Bad or
Watch Bosch.
Bosch. No, that's too highbrow for my dad.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, how we get on that? Secret History, Secret History. Yeah,
Uh,
that
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to reading that. Zach,
Yeah.
you should set it up. We'll read it, and you'll read it
Mm.
again, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so another one we read, but not for our show. We read a couple of W. Somerset Maughams for Alec Mohibian's Filthy Armenian Adventures. We read Cakes and Ale, which was a brilliant novel. And but the and I'm of two minds of putting both books on the list. So I also read The Summing Up, which was Maughams' sort of overview of his career, written towards at what he thought was the end of his life, but he still lived for like 30 years after that, which is so funny to me. um, and so yeah, the summing up I found really it's a real writer's book, I think. So you read it and you see how kind of self-critical, self-aware as well that Morm was, and like he's very sort of humble with his talents. Like he knows just how good he is, and that's not the best who ever did it. It's just he's a competent sort of storyteller or whatever, fairly good with words. But one of the things I loved about that book is there's a lot of stuff about like writing career, writing craft, collaboration, and all of the different styles of writing he did. Like he worked in theater, short stories, and novels. I mean, he goes through all of that. But one of the things that I liked was like when he sort of gestures towards some of the other stuff he did in his life, because he was a doctor as well. But then he was also he was also a spy. Um, and apparently he's written a few like spy stories and they're really good as well. Which I'd be interested to read. Maybe we can do that at some
Yeah.
point. And I can't remember if I read it in the summing up or if I read it in research for that episode. I think it might have been in the summing up where he talks about how he was sent to Russia, and and he was like, I could have averted the Bolshevik Revolution, but I got there too late. And I'm like, I actually believe him because
Yeah.
like he's not one of these people who's like big notes themselves. Like he's very aware of his like capacities. And so I actually believe that some W. Somerset Maugham could have prevented the Bolshevik Revolution if he got there earlier. Like I take him at his word.
Yeah.
But I just remember like just little things like that are peppered throughout the book, and it's just so cool. Like he had such a cool life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds fascinating. Yeah, I didn't actually read the summing up, but the Cakes and Ale was really good.
yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah, again, like just because we covered it on this, so I didn't put it on the list. But yeah, that was another one that I quite
yeah,
enjoyed from last year.
it was a highlight for sure. Yeah. Any others?
What else do I have next? I got Douglas Copeland Microsurfs. Um, yeah, I just
Is
again
that a
another
novel or a
yeah,
non-fiction?
it's a novel.
Mm.
Yeah, he has a bunch of non-fiction books. I've never
Mm.
read any of those ones, but yeah, it's just like again, it was an audiobook one, and I just remember just really having just like a really great time listening to it.
Mm.
Like he's in that kind of like Gen X kind of. Well, he wrote the book Generation X, but like he's in that kind of you lump him in with like Bret Easton Ellis and that, but he's way less dark than those guys. Like he's
Mm.
more hopeful. Like it's still the like Gen X questioning of consumerism and like what is the meaning of life if we're all just in these cubicles, blah blah blah. But he has kind of just more of like there's like a little twinge of hope and kind of like also like not a complete hatred of modernity. Like
Mm.
I've only read two of his books now. I read the other day Shampoo Planet, which was the one before Microsoft's. I think it's like his second book. It's not as good as Microsoft's, but it was still pretty good. Like it's sort of they're just really like fun, breezy books. They have the same kind of feel as a Welbeck book, but without being
Depressing.
yeah, without being as depressing and sexually perverted.
Mm.
Like there's still something I'm not sure what the connection is, but I get like there's something that just reminds me of Welbeck, but I guess like a Canadian Welbeck. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like so there's something like more because like in Shampoo Planet, there's like he has like a hippie mom and she's like there's like sort of the issues like he's like very much like wants to be like a CEO, like, and he's got all these like shampoo products and like styles his hair and like all these ridiculous names and stuff for things. And
Mm.
then there's this like pyramid scheme for this like cat food called Kitty Whip, where you like make like a little salad bar and it comes out and these grandparents are doing like yeah they lose their money and get into this pyramid scheme and it's I don't know whether I finished it this year so I didn't put it on the list, but yeah, Microsurfs I should talk about actually instead. It was like it's like a group of people who work for Microsoft in the like 90s and like Bill Gates is constantly this kind of like omnipresent figure. Like he's never not a character in the book and they just refer to him as Bill, but like he's kind of like this like looming like deity like over the whole thing. But then like they live in like a share house and they're all, like then there's like one guy who gets this idea for this new kind of software called like OOP, which is like basically like a Lego you can build on your computer, but you can just make anything out of it. And it has like, or like you can use it. It has all these like applications, like you could use it to make other software or you can use it to like model things. And anyway, so that he's like, come on, you leave Microsoft and join with my thing and we'll move down to like California and stuff like that and like have a go at it. And yeah, like and all the little different characters go off on their different sort of little adventures and I don't know. It just was like again, I just had like a really great time reading it. So
Mm.
yeah, I liked that
Okay.
one. Microsurfs.
Yeah, cool. When was that written? Do you remember?
Really early 90s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna say like 93 or something like
Yeah,
that.
because he wrote
94.
the book about the 90s, didn't he? The 90s, it's called, isn't it?
Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
got a lot of books. I've got a few of them, but
Mm.
like I gotta read Generation X, I guess. That'd be the one to start with. I just haven't actually
Mm.
got a copy of it yet. And I downloaded like some Kindle version, like a janky one, and then it was just like riddled with typos and stuff, and to the point
Mm.
where like, this is unreadable.
Yeah.
So and I think it's got like pictures and stuff in it. So I was like, I'll just get the physical book. It'll turn up in an op shop or something soon enough.
Mm. Um, Another one I will talk about that I read this year, the end of this year. Um, and I think it's a book called Like You Have a Choice by Ivan Nikolai.
Oh yeah,
Who
yeah.
you've probably met Ivan
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
Jack's thing. I did want to have Ivan on at some point, but so I won't
I liked
talk.
his contribution to that neo-passéism.
Ah, yeah, yeah,
Yours was really good too, and Ivan's. I remember like because it doesn't say till the end of a piece who
yeah,
wrote
yeah,
each bit, and so like when I get to the last word, I was like, oh, that was that guy. Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. He's he's a cool guy, and Jack Norman actually wrote a review of this, which is like I kind of share a lot of Jack's thoughts about it. Um, so Ivan's one of these like third culture kids, I guess you would call him, because he's like grew up in Italy, has a I think it has some ties to Germany. It was also like has randomly a Native American father, has a very like free-spirited mother or whatever. I don't know if this is like public knowledge, but sorry, I'm just spilling all this tea.
Well,
But
this is a paywall episode,
no,
right?
no, it's not. But
Oh,
but anyway, like you have a choice is like a series of stories set in Melbourne, and it's like, and for a lot of people in Australia and elsewhere, that might seem like I don't know. Do we need more books about Melbourne? You know,
yeah. Need
but
more about North Queensland.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Shout out Jack. But no, this is really good because it's so savage. And the funny thing about this book is like it's very Bret Easton Ellis, a Gary Indiana style, like sort of savagery about all of the different archetypes, like, you know, personal trainers, like people who work at tech companies and tech startups or whatever. And, you know, the kind of posers and hipsters that you find in various places in this city where I live. I avoid all of these people, by the way. So like, but I've seen them around. So,
Oh, yeah.
but he's like really clocking tea here in a way where I actually thought just because of the nature of these stories and like that kind of homosexual eye, I actually thought Ivan was gay, but he's not. Um, he has a girlfriend, a living girlfriend, and everything. So like, but yeah, that's really that was really a surprise of this year, and he self-published it. And what's surprising about it is that like, you know, this is the sort of thing. It's really well written. Uh, it could have been published in a mainstream publisher, but it kind of wouldn't be because it sort of like critiques a lot of the people who work in those industries.
The guy editing it is like, hey, I do that.
Or well, sometimes I think these people are so dumb that they're just like the Garfield meme, you know, like I
Yeah.
wonder who that's for.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was a really, really kind of wonderful book, and I really enjoyed it. But we'll have to have Ivan on because Ivan's funny because like he is sort of he like can talk about anything, like really theory and stuff like that, but like that's kind of not what I would want to talk to him about. I don't want to talk about Nick Land or shit like that. Like I'd want to talk about these like archetypes that and you know, how he sort of researched this. And I'm assuming it's just all exposure, like that he's been exposed to these people and comes from a place because he's not necessarily Australian, or, you know, really anything. Like he's kind of floating about all of these different identities or whatever. He can really like bore down into them and like kind of,
Yeah.
or just have that kind of Mormian precision about them, you know. And they're all really funny. Like all of these stories are really funny. So I recommend those.
What was the book called again?
Like You Have a Choice.
Like You Have a
You
Choice.
can
Yeah,
just get it on Amazon.
I'll get a copy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have another? Hi there, listeners. Sorry to interrupt. We really appreciate you listening to us, but if you'd like to hear more from us, you should check out our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/gettinglit and gain access to our exclusive bonus content, including Back Matter, a special after show where we chat a little bit more informally with our guests, usually about a film or something else related to the main episode. For just $5, you get access to these bonus episodes, as well as the full archive of every episode we've ever done. For more details and to get the most out of your Getting Lit podcast experience, go to patreon.com/gettinglit. Thanks for listening. Okay, back to the show.
Bret Easton Ellis's The Informers.
Mm-hmm.
I read that mostly on the planes to and from Sydney. And I'd say it's probably one of his books I've liked the most. Like, I think The Shards is his best one that I've read. And, you know, American Psycho is awesome and all that. But yeah, this one was just like so nasty and so savage. Just just
About
literally like,
homosexual savagery.
yeah, just
Yeah.
oh, it's just like it takes a piece of your soul with it or
Mm.
something. This book it is so like it's like sort of like a set of short stories, but they're all kind of like thematically related. It's not like there's like characters really like sometimes there's sort of someone who's like, is that the same Todd or whatever? Um, but like it's just all just so like what am I looking for? Like it's just like just imagine being just like it's sort of like White Lotusy in this way of like being in like a holiday in Hawaii somewhere, and you just like there's one story where it's like a guy who doesn't want to go with his dad to his like rich dad to Hawaii, and then they go there, and the dad's just getting drunk and like hitting on chicks, and he's just like oh, and like it's just like stuff like that, but then they just kind of like keep getting like more crazy, and there's like then it's just like a spoiler alert. There's like just turns out like vampires exist in this world too. And there's one story where it's just like this guy who's just like a vampire and stuff. And then like someone comes over and he's like sees some bat with like blonde hair like pass out. He's like, "Who's that?" It's like, "Oh, that's John. Yeah, he had a big night last night." Like it's kind of silly at the same time, but
Mm.
I don't really, yeah, I don't know how to like sum it up. But it's just like it's just like everything is just like the most just lonely, isolating, just like Xanaxed out. Like I just was like, oh god, I wanted to take some Xanax so bad reading this thing. Like I think I did on the plane home take a Valium and bought like a gin and tonic, but it was like such a short flight that by the time they started serving drinks, and then like they had like 10 like I didn't even get to finish it before it was like, all right, we're already like descending for landing kind of thing. Um but yeah, I don't know. There's just that one. I was just like, this book is so nasty, just so, just like, he must have been really in a mood when he wrote that one. Like,
Mhm. 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 Um, yeah, he's great. I wonder if he's going to write another.
I hope so.
Hmm. I feel like The Shards is like, I don't know. Did he say it was going to be his last one? I don't know.
He might have, but people say these things,
Mm,
like I
yeah.
don't put too much stock in it. I think Welbeck may be done, but then I wouldn't 100% count on that.
He's not
But
that old though, is he? How old is he?
Welbeck,
Yeah.
imagine he's like 60 or something.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
but like, well, Glenn's theory is that it was like he is dying of some kind of really nasty disease, which wouldn't
Could
seem that
be.
surprising, but that hasn't been confirmed or anything like that.
Mm,
So I think he was just sort of basing it on the last book, Annihilation.
mm,
Like, I don't know. Yeah, he says he's done. Like, I feel like he's kind of the guy who'll just be like, well, I said it, I have to sort of stick with it. But
mm.
at the same time, he could just be like, well, I got this idea for a new book. What am I going to fucking do? Not write it? Like, so I hope he has another one out. I'm not going to be like mad that he went against his word, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The other, another one that was on my list that I loved. It's another one we did, which is Bruce Wagner's Amputation.
yeah, yeah.
Like that was such a good book. I loved it so much. It's so funny, and like you know, Bruce is like, as I felt bad about like when we were interviewing him because they made this suggestion about like talking about how he masters the like language of the internet. And then I wouldn't really didn't intend this, but he made a really funny joke about like, oh, because I'm old sort of thing. But like, even at, like, he's in his 70s now, but he's still kind of cool. And I love
Yeah.
that. And I love that he is kind of at the height of his powers. And like, writing is one of the only things you can do, one of the only creative practices you can do where you can still be producing great work, like musicians to some extent, but like even then, like, I guess what Dylan's in his 80s now or something, isn't he? But like
Yeah.
also like,
He's not producing his best work
yeah, yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Like it's I don't really listen to modern Dylan albums, but occasionally I'll dip in and I'll be like, they're always the kind of album where you listen to them 3 times and you can't stop being like, yeah, all right, it's actually not bad. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and so, and musicians as well, like there's also as you're getting older, you physically can't
Mm,
perform the same way you could before. But there are ways around that that's really cool. Like sometimes old guys change up arrangements and stuff like that to accommodate
mm.
their flailing
Well, it's the
dexterity
thing
or
though, but
whatever.
like, because it's more physical, and especially if they're a singer, your voice can
Oh,
decline.
it goes, yeah.
Plus, it's also like collaborative. So
Yeah.
you just, as you get older, you just do not want to fucking put up with musicians.
And if you're
Like,
in a band, your collaborators die as
yeah.
well.
So
So,
there's more variables I feel with music than with
mm,
writing to like fuck it up because like yeah, it's a lot of energy too. Like even just going to band practice was something I always
mm,
fucking hated. Like
mm,
get in your car, load up all your gear, go pick everyone up, fuck around, get to the place, fucking set up, smoke a joint, fucking, like it's just this
mm,
whole thing. And then you do that for like 20 minutes of like jamming. And then
yeah.
you're like, that was a shit jam session.
Mm,
Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
it just drains it out of you so easily. Like you have to really, really be
Yeah.
about that. And that's why it's like a young man's game. And especially if you're
Yeah.
going to do some kind of like energetic, like if you're making like rap or punk or something metal, you want to be young for that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna like use up your juice real quick on that sort of shit.
Yeah, whereas writing is an old man's game. I think the
Mm.
older you get, like the better you get because
Yeah,
we've lived more life for one, but also you hone the craft more the more things you write and stuff. And yeah, so whenever someone says like if you want to be a writer and you're like, "Oh, it's too late. I'm like in my, mid 40s or whatever." It's just like that's the perfect time. Like,
yeah,
like you would have way more to say than someone in their mid 20s.
mm.
Especially fucking now. Like not to be old man who yells at cloud, but come on. Like
Yeah.
what does a 20-year-old what have they experienced these days compared to like 20.
Libtard parents.
Yeah. 20-year-olds like back in the 60s or something. People were like fucking hitchhiking, getting raped, like,
Yeah,
getting fucked up on all
nearly
different concoctions of
getting killed
drugs.
by a serial killer.
Yeah, that too, yeah. So yeah, like I think yeah, so Amputation was a great novel. Like we did an episode on it, talked to Bruce, and he was a lot of fun. He was very taken with the fact that I worked at Daily Mail.
Yeah.
That was like a moment. He was just like, I need a moment.
You're like, wait, you read me?
Oh man, if I could have, well, the only thing is that I worked in the Australian
Yeah,
office. So, but if I would have like tried to find a way to write about, people like Bruce Wagner and whatever, but I could
yeah,
just never could because you need the Australian angle. But
yeah.
yeah, but that was another one of mine.
You just like message him, he's like, can you call Margot Robbie a bitch or something? And then,
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I should have done that. Yeah. Mm.
yeah, well, I'll add, because I really liked Amputation, and I guess I'd heard the name Bruce Wagner, but before we actually had set up to interview him, I didn't know his books or anything. So I read Amputation, but then I also read I'm Losing You. I just
Hmm.
picked another one at random sort of to read, and that one was really good too.
Mm.
It was like an earlier one. I think it was like the 90s or something. He
Mm.
wrote that one in. But it was just yeah, I like his sort of like style of just like all these kind of like characters sort of all just drawn in this like sort of crazy kaleidoscopic sort of LA universe, and then there's like the sort of spiritual angles, and he's obviously got his themes like fire and water and things like that he keeps sort of rehashing out. I'm assuming his other books probably
Mm.
go into that, and
Yeah.
and then the movie Maps to the Stars has that sort of like fire and water kind of thing about it too, and yeah, incest and all that kind of shit. So yeah, I really liked I'm Losing You. I thought that was good. Can't even remember really what the plot was. Remember there was the guy who was like the dead animal guy. He was cool. His
Mm.
mum was some like psychologist to the stars, and then there was some other chick who was like crazy and like a energy healer or something, or she was stealing like items from stars to like capture their like energies. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, his books. I got a copy of Force Majeure too. I think I'll read that one next. So I definitely want to go through all his books. They look pretty cool.
There's a really good one, very hard to get in Australia, but it's probably easier these days. But it took me forever to fucking find this book and get it shipped here. It's called The Empty Chair.
I have
which
it on
is
my Kindle.
yeah, yeah, which is it's probably his most quote unquote Buddhist book because he is a Buddhist of a sort, like a Hollywood Buddhist, if you will. He'd probably identify with that, to be honest. But uh, it is sort of like a series of interviews, essentially, but they're really compelling. Like that's the
Okay.
entire book. Like it's just people talking to each other. Um, but yeah, it's one of my favorites of his. The probably the most sort of like directly spiritual, I guess, of his books.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe that's why it's sort of hard to find because it probably wasn't his most didn't sell the most. But
Yeah. Okay. Imagine you could get it on Amazon, print
mm,
on demand or whatever.
mm.
Well, he has another book. It's like that one. It's like Raw, the oral
Yeah,
history of,
yeah, I haven't read that one. Yeah,
but it's like a made up guy or
mm,
whatever. But he has like it's like celebrity like Kanye West and people like that, like giving like the oral history of this guy who was some kind of like. I think I listened to the Bret Easton Ellis interview with him when he was talking about it. And it was like the main Roger Orr or whatever, and then he was some black dude who was whatever gets into showbiz and becomes a tranny and then detransitions and all this stuff. I was like, I'm like, yeah, like I'm usually kind of put off when someone's like they're doing something like that. Like we're gonna write a novel, but it's in this oral history style. I'm kind of like, can't you just write it normally? But this one actually kind of sounds good. So,
mm.
and because yeah, no, I trust the writer. So, you know,
Yeah, yeah. You always have a lot of fun with him. Yeah,
yeah,
so I really enjoyed it. Yeah, another one I would say is not specific kind of books, but another Australian author actually, Lewis Woolston. Have you read any of his stuff or heard of him?
no, but I've heard the name.
Yeah, yeah. His so he sent me one of his books. So, but this is not like a um, you scratch my, I'll scratch yours sort of thing. But then I also read one of his other books. So he's a real master of the short story, and he does a lot of similar very dissimilar to Jack Norman actually, but similar in this sense that they write about places that aren't written about in Australia. So The Everlasting is the one that he sent me, and this one is a kind of focused more on religion, um, and so like a lot of the stories center around that, but most of them are set in the country or outside Adelaide, South Australia, that sort of area. And then the other ones he's published are The Last Free Man and Remembering the Dead. And all three of these, like, these are ones that I don't really read short story collections cover to cover. I like dip into them in and out. So, and they're really amenable to that. And they kind of get this sort of unromantic, sometimes bleak, sort of in the vein of, sometimes very much in the vein of Wake and Fright, Kenneth Cook, that we did last year as well, on Book Club from Hell. But also not so much like tipping over into the horror elements, but more in a very melancholic, but also very realistic. And I think Lewis has even said that Morm is an influence, so very Mormian in that sort of socially observant way, and like written in a very clean sort of lo-fi style. He wrote a manifesto about the lo-fi style on Substack, and he really kind of adheres to that. And it's really comes from a you can tell that he's a real he's had a real life. Like apparently he's written some stories about it, but and he's done a lot of stuff. Was a bouncer, was in the army, worked in a roadhouse on the Nullarbor, which apparently is like a great gig if you're into that. Like because it's really isolated. You get all of your rent paid for or whatever because you live on site, and you just. But also, it has horrific elements too because it's a bit wake
Yeah,
and fright. You just get drunk all the time because there's nothing
yeah,
else to do. But you know, if you want to be you know, away from people. It's probably a good gig.
yeah.
But
It's a
yeah,
good
like,
thing to do when you're in your 20s or something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So really kind of, uh, you know, everyday kind of stories, like nothing fantastical or, you know, thrills and spills, but just really, really observant, very sometimes tragic, sometimes sad. But yeah, very kind of astute, I think, and very welcome as well. Like I think this year as well, I've discovered a lot of Australian writers that are actually fucking good. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, Lewis was one of them, and obviously Jack was as well. And Ivan too. So yeah, I would recommend all of those basically. They're all sort of like have different themes, but they're all sort of united by, basically the stuff that I've been talking about, elsewheres and things like that, and the people who live there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, cool.
We'll have to have him on too.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotta check out more of these Australian writers. I bought Paul Dalarosa's book when I was in
I can
Melbourne.
see
So
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
It's very colourful spine. So I
Hmm.
think I'll probably crack that one when I have some free time to read something.
Yeah.
Right now I got about 3 or so books I gotta finish for the podcasts.
Mm.
So not just this yet, but soon. But
Yeah.
yeah, I want to check out that Ivan's book and Lewis and all of that. They sound
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
Paul's book as well is very savage in that gay way, but I don't think a lot of people realize, because I think a lot of like gay readers are like, oh, there's some gay themes here, and it's like, he's not
Rainbow
he's
Spine.
not doing Will and Grace, honey.
Yeah.
That's not what Paul's doing. But
Well,
yeah,
I'm hoping
exactly.
the Gary Indiana
Yeah.
influence comes through a bit.
Oh yeah, you
Like,
can see that.
yeah,
Yeah,
sick. Yeah, I'm
definitely.
looking. I got a copy of Gary Indiana's "Do Everything in the Dark." I think I'll start that one soon too.
Is
So
that
just
the Versace one, or is that the other one?
no, it's not. It's not one of the No, I've got the
Trilogy.
Versace one here too.
Mm.
3 Months Fever. That one is.
Oh, that right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I got
yeah.
that one, and then this is the one I bought in Melbourne when I was with you at
Oh
the
yeah.
Reading
Yeah.
store.
Yeah, that's right.
Um, I don't know. The cover has like a gimp mask on it, so I'm guessing there's gay shit in it. But you know, I'm sure it'll be good. Um,
The
yeah,
best gay I was gonna like maybe do this for a specific book that we do one day, but I'll just flag it here. The best gay writers, in my opinion, are um peop gay guys who like look at the gay stuff in the same way straight men do. In that like they just kind of find it funny, like
yeah,
not in a homophobic way, like, most normal straight guys are just like like it's the gay sex stuff is just sort of funny and hilarious, and but you also understand it as like it's really hard to explain. It's sort of like it's hard to explain without reducing it down to like or maybe it is a sex binary thing. Like it's like you have to have like a more male coded brain for the gay stuff to be good, I think. Because if you're a
yeah.
if
I
you're
think
a
there's just like an
muling
honest.
bottom, I don't think you can be very good at writing gay fiction. So
Yeah, there's like kind of like an honest, just like direct, like unflinching, like description of
Mm.
just the abjectness of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Like we didn't really talk about it in when we did the resentment discussion, but that one scene where like there was the guy who was like talking about how he used to fuck Liberace, and then like Jack or whatever the character with AIDS is just like, fuck, I hate this guy. I'm just gonna fuck him and give him AIDS, like kind of thing. And then like I was like eating dinner reading it, and there's a bit where he's like talking about, he's like, yeah, I can smell the fucking shit on his ass. He hasn't like wiped his ass, and then he's like, so the paragraph ends with something like, then I like fucking like shot hot infected fuck into his like shitty bum or something like that. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, I'm trying to fucking eat my dinner here. Like it was so just like, but it was like hilarious at the same, like he's doing it in this funny way, but it was like, Jesus,
It's kind of like the South part, like gay joke sort of stuff,
yeah.
which like gay guys love, like
Yeah.
well-adjusted gay guys love, like it's that sort of attitude, and that's the best gay writing, is like people like Gary Indiana, and Paul's kind of the
Yeah.
same. Paul's less disgusting, but like just as sort of like kind of savage.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, cool. I'm looking forward to reading this
Yeah.
book.
Um, Yeah, and what else did I have? A lot of the ones I've got left are just ones that we've done on the show that I just wanted
Yeah.
to shout out. Like the Golem,
Yeah.
that was a revelation. Thank you for recommending that, because I did not expect that to be as good as it was. Because I was like,
Neither, yeah.
yeah. Um, That was so good, and we did a great episode on that with Brad Kelly, who we'll have on soon to talk about his new book. But
Yeah.
yeah, that
I
was a
just started it the other day
mm,
and first chapter goes down pretty nice. So
mm. Like a turd in the sewer.
yeah. But you know how sometimes like you just
Yeah.
like if you've never read someone before, it's like there's always a bit where before you sort of even if you like the person personally, you're just like I still don't trust them as a writer yet. But that
Mm,
book kind of
mm,
like, nah, this reads really nice. You know, how some
mm,
people are trying to show off too much in their first chapter, like look at my prose and look at all the
mm,
little witticisms. It's sort
mm,
of he's obviously good prose stylist, but like it's just like it's not like trying to bash you over the head with it immediately. It's just like
mm,
let's just like warm you up and get you into it so you can
mm.
like this it gives you enough to like, all right, I'm curious to where this is going. Like the
Yeah.
Lovecraftian, I guess is the earth and dark going subterranean. You can't I don't think you can write a subterranean novel without it being Lovecraftian in some
Mm,
sense, you know.
mm, mm.
Um even like Mario Brothers is probably fucking Lovecraftian.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Um,
That movie from the 90s is so good, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
oh, we should do it one day.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like I haven't watched it in a long time, so there's the chance it doesn't hold up. But I remember as a kid because it's kind of like cyberpunk,
Yeah, I remember it
and
being kind of dark, like it was just
yeah,
very like darkly lit and which is very similar to Ninja Turtle. Have you seen the Ninja Turtles movie, the first one?
yeah, very long time
Yeah,
ago.
and that's very dark as well, which is very strange to, I mean, I know the original comics are a lot more like adult and dark than the cartoons were, but like
Yeah,
the movie is just so kind of broody and like, you know, the dark, dank New York streets or whatever, like, and then there's like turtles dressed like ninjas. Like it's just a really bizarre thing. I think Super Mario Brothers is very similar to that, like similar kind of
yeah.
vibe. Yeah.
I think there was just some sort of vibe in the 90s because like the 90s Batman's or the late 80s, early 90s Batman movies are kind of like that too. Just
Mm,
like this, like sort of like a gritty realism just combined with this like absurd, you know, superhero
mm,
cartoonishness, but like done sort of, yeah, sort of realism, but without the like modern day realism where they fully have to give them like emotions and things like that.
mm.
Like, you know, it's sort of like that right balance between it where they are sort of just like, it's kind of like, you know, whatever stoical figures, you know, superhero, but like the setting is, yeah. So
Yeah, like the modern day Batman with like, because every Batman now in every movie has to sound like Christian Bale doing the horse voice. Like,
yeah, and you have to kind of see him like take off his suit and have all of his injuries, and
yeah,
he needs
yeah.
to cry and stuff like that. Of the
Mm,
toll of being Batman,
mm.
like it gets to this level of emotional realism that it's like,
It's a guy dressed as a bat.
yeah, I understand doing that once is fine, but like
Yeah.
when it just becomes the like dominant tone of it, it's just kind of like, all right, I get it. I don't give a fuck if Sonic like has emotions, you know. I haven't seen the
Mm.
Sonic movies, but I assume Sonic fucking gets like depressed or something.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, do you have any others?
as far as books go, not really. Like, yeah, we read a lot of good things on the pod last year, so all of those ones I've sort of already discussed. I have just net like movies and a couple of albums from last year. If you're ready to
Yeah,
move
yeah.
on past the books,
Yeah,
unless you got, do you have any books?
I would just shout out one more. We also did it on the pod very early in the year, but JDO's Gods Fair No
Oh
Better.
yeah, yeah,
So much fun.
yep.
A great book. And yeah, we'll have him on soon to talk about his next one. But yeah, go and listen to that episode. Go buy that book if you're into like weird cyberpunk epics. So yeah, that's the other one that I had on my list, and I think that's about it. Yeah, that's about it from me. I've got a
All
few
right.
TV and thing like that we can talk about if you
Yeah.
want.
Do you want to go TV movies next or
Yeah,
music
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
TV.
TV movie? All right. Well, what's you
Mine
can start it
is
off.
it was very late in the year. Me and Darren basically binged watched the new Brian Murphy show called All's Fair, uh,
Oh yeah,
which is it's so ridiculous, but like
yeah.
but it's like it's set in this like LA divorce like law firm. And you know Kim Kardashian is in it.
Yeah.
playing a high-powered lawyer. So is Naomi Watts, and so is Niecy Nash, who is like I love her. Another great show that I loved was called Claws, which starred and Niecy Nash is this like big, voluptuous black woman with huge knockers, and uh, so in Claws, the previous show, it was about a nail salon that like she was the head of a nail salon and like laundered money through it.
I think Josie
And
watched that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And the reason this is a girls and gays show, I think. The reason I watched that and I loved it was every scene she would be in a different outfit, like a different hoochie mama outfit. Like, but it was always like this like mix of ghetto and like chic or couture, and it was just so funny. Just literally that kept you watching no matter what was happening. But anyway, so
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
she's in
Yeah,
it
I'm
as
looking at it
well.
now. I'm like, she looks like a drag queen.
So yeah, so All's Fair is like this funny uh I it's fun. I still haven't like gathered my thoughts about it because I don't quite know what to think because it's like I don't know if it's good or bad, but it doesn't matter. It's sort of entertaining.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
so it's about all of it, these girls can do it sort of thing. Um, this they Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, and Niecy Nash go off to start their own. They're in a law firm and they go off to start their own like divorce law firm where they help women in divorce proceedings. And it's just so funny because it's like the roles have reversed where like their clients are all these high powered women, like women in tech or like with businesses, and they're like fighting against their like dead shit husbands who like want to take 50% of their company or whatever. And it's just like you're just redoing like what you would have called sexist in like the 70s, but with
Yeah,
men,
yeah.
because like now women have a lot of money and have a lot of earning potential and whatever. And I find that really funny. And it's this thing with Ryan Murphy where you can't tell if he's being intentionally kind of provocative and reactionary or not because there's this patina of girl power and it's all for girls. Like it's like they're all Kim Kardashian's in it, so she's dressed like in head to
She's probably
toe.
in the middle of the not having her money taken by Kanye or something.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Well, who
She's like,
would
no,
have
I
more
earned
money?
that.
I don't know. I don't know who would have more money, Kanye
I
or
reckon
Kim.
her,
Yeah.
just because she's got like more of like a diverse kind of
More of
like
an
she's
empire.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's got like the
Yeah.
show and she's like weight loss products and
Mm,
I'm sure a million other things. But then I know like he's also very popular artist and
mm.
all of but I just feel like he's probably like blown more money on stupid things than her. I don't know. I
Yes.
mean, they're both I think billionaires, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
so who knows? Maybe they're just like actually like look, we don't need to bother with this. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got more money than you'd ever need.
Yeah, so it's got this bizarre like there's bizarre narrative implications to it like that. Like there's one storyline where one guy wanted to have kids like with this partner and she never gave him kids. So he's he's like kind of going after her because of that. Like it's really weird. And then when he realizes that his now girlfriend is pregnant, he pulls the suit like and like doesn't isn't suing her anymore. And it's just really weird like psychology like that doesn't make any sense for the characters. Like why would you Anyway, there's another storyline where like this old sort of rocker, it like has forced this woman to get plastic surgery. And like, this is how you know a gay man has written this because no straight man is forcing a woman to get plastic surgery. And
Yeah.
like, I don't care how famous they are, but like he would just leave her or, like get hotter groupies or whatever. But he wouldn't.
Or just be like, baby, you don't need that. It's
Yeah,
fine.
exactly.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about that nonsense.
Yeah, yeah. Like if he was being a cunt, he would just leave her,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like so and that was really funny as well because that's the way that episode ends is like she's this basically all plastic fantastic and can barely talk because of her big lips or whatever. And then she realizes I think she realizes she can't get any money out of him for various reasons. And then the end of the episode, she throws acid in his face, and then
Oh Lord.
she's like, "Why don't you go and get some plastics or something like that?" And but then it's not depicted necessarily as a bad thing in the show. It's like, yeah, girl power. It's like,
Lord.
so I'm like, what is he doing here? Like Ryan Murphy's like he's a very yeah, he's very inconsistent. Like you don't know what he's doing, and that's kind of like the appeal of him as well, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because you can watch something like the Menendez show, and you kind of get that, and it's pretty solid. But then you've got something like this, which is more camp and more like gay brained or whatever. But then it leans so heavily into like this girl power stuff that it becomes almost like reactionary, if you think about it, you know. And then the other funny thing about this show is, and I don't know if this is just this is part of the legal process of divorce, but it's a courtroom show with no courtroom scenes because it's all mediation. Like,
Yeah, right.
yeah, so I just love that element of it as well. Like, and there's more to it, but like there are so many things like that that just stack it on that like girl power, but it's like these people are actually kind of terrible. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just found that element of it so entertaining.
Okay. All's fair. All
So
right.
yeah, Josie might be into it.
Yeah, she might have already watched it or something.
Yeah, maybe.
She's always just watching something. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I'll start what the trouble is I can just like watch anything and get hooked in usually. So I'm always like, I've got to leave the room and go read lounge.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I can't what was she watching the other night? She started watching I think it was on your recommendation, was it the Iron Chef or whatever? Because she was like, I want to watch whatever Dexter or something. I was like, no, don't watch Dexter. I want to read. Like, don't watch it without me. And then she's like, all right, I'll just put something on that you won't care about. And she puts the Iron Chef on, and I'm like, you can't watch
This is
this.
awesome.
This is way too entertaining. That shows. I guess maybe I'll start that as my thing for what I watched last year. The Iron Chef. I had no idea that show was going to be as entertaining as it is. I thought
So good.
I'm like, I don't have any interest in cooking shows, but I was just like, this is weird. Like the way the intro, whatever, where the guy like bites the fucking
capsicum.
and then he looks like he's like they should have done another take of that. Like he couldn't help himself but laughing and stuff. Like I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, would I get this if I was Japanese? There's just lots of things like that where I'm like, does this make sense if you're Japanese? Like, yeah, like the whole thing with that, and then like the way that people will like have all these little like the chef will stand there and it's like they've called his name, but he's refusing to enter the podium until they call it a second time. And there's like, and he's always like, yes, I will definitely beat that chef. And then and then like the French chef guy, he's like so cool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like that show was I was just like blown away by how entertaining that was. It was just like something really like beyond a cooking show where I was like, there's something weird going on with this show. It's just like, I'm like, yeah, you can't put this on if I'm trying to read. This is too entertaining.
Yeah. And the best thing about that show, well, the cooking and how they film it and everything is cool, but like I love the judging panels.
Yeah.
Where it's like some guy, there's like usually like one food critic, but then it's just like fucking brainless actresses who are just like, oh, it's good. Like that's all they say. It's like,
and they all
it's
look
good.
like weird characters from animes. They'll be like
Yeah.
this author, and he just like looks like if they drew like an author in an anime, like big thick glasses and a bald head or something. And they're like, and he's just like, oh yes, the subtlety. I've never thought of using toothfish in this way. And like, and then they'll have like the former prime minister on with his wife as like a judge.
Oh, and then the fortune teller, I think her name's Asano.
Oh yeah.
And she's such a bitch. She's like, I really like this dish, but on the other hand, I hated it. You know,
That's the other thing is the voiceovers.
Yeah,
the voiceovers
on the
are
dub.
so good.
Yeah,
The way they like, because they just like make it natural. Like, what would be the American equivalent of this? But then the main guy, his doesn't get voiceover.
It's in subtitles.
he gets subtitles. So when he's talking to someone else, it's so like that's what I'm talking. It's got this like postmodern like disorientating aspect to it. That's where I'm like, this is like cyberpunk. This show, like,
Yeah,
like,
it
it's
is.
just something about it where I'm like, yeah, there's just too much going on with it.
And the chairman, the guy,
Yeah, the chairman, yeah.
he's not really the host, but he's an actor who's playing a character.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is like everyone else is real, but he's playing a character who is like, I built kitchen stadium to
Yeah.
like test people's metal or whatever. But he is like dressed so flamboyantly. It looks like Lord Byron,
He looks
Japanese
like
Lord
Ray
Byron.
Davies as a Japanese person.
Yeah.
Like in his like full 70s camp,
Yeah, with
like
the
vaudeville.
lace like little sleeves and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, he's so good.
And
And
like how like all the different chefs, there's like one, the French guy's like holding a plant of a pear or something. Like he's just like in the position. And then they have the separate, the Italian one. He must have got like added on later because he comes up in his own separate little like elevator thing.
yeah,
Yeah, it's so bizarre, that show. Like
yeah.
I just thought it was just gonna be boring cooking shit.
Paul Della Rosa is obsessed with that show, and we actually did an episode where we watched, after we did the main episode, we did in Back Matter where we watched an episode and talked about it while we were watching it. And the other day, Paul messaged me and sent me on Instagram a picture of one of the Iron Chefs who he was like, he's in Melbourne. We have to find him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great show. Great choice.
Yeah.
I also watched Begonia, the new Lanthimos,
Yeah.
which was fun. It was like, it was kind of like not his best, but not his worst either. Emma Stone was amazing. She always is. Like, she really is like, has she turned into his muse or something? Because she's been in like
every one of his movies. Like,
yeah.
well, at least most of them, right?
And she seems to love it, I think. Like, I think she gets the weirdness of it or whatever, and she really leans into it. You know how you see like famous actresses who work with like some kind of weird auteur and they don't really know what they're doing. They're just like, oh, it's a name that, is famous, so I'll work with him or whatever. But she kind of always understands the assignment. And so she was amazing in that. So was Jesse Plemons was in it as well. He was really good. The only thing I didn't like was that Stavros was in it, and I was like, every time he was on screen,
That's right,
I wanted to vomit. I find him so repulsive. Not even just physically, just like as a concept, I find him repulsive.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great kind of film. I didn't really watch many films this year though, or last year. But it was good. I took Darren on a date night to see it, and he was like, he's too normie for it. Like, and and he was like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, we should have gone and seen like, I don't know, Thunderbolts or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched recently because we wanted to watch Begonia, but it wasn't on whatever streaming we had, so we watched The Favorite instead.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, that was really good.
Mm.
Like, and
that's one of his best. I think.
Right. Yeah, I liked the Poor Things more. Poor Things more. Sorry. But it's also Poor Things had that like wacky Willem Dafoe thing, which I think
it's
Poor
played
Things
out now.
was the last time where it was allowable, and now it's all right. It's enough of that. But still, yeah, no. The Favorite was really good. Like and like what's her name?
Olivia Colman.
Yeah, just like she was just because it has a thing where it's almost like the fucking like what's Takawati kind of thing, how just like New Zealand's being like, oh bro, it's like aliens here, like, oh, you want a chip, bro? It's almost like that where it's like a ridiculous thing and then has people talking in like a modern sort of way or whatever, but it doesn't quite cross the thing into like Reddit. Like I don't think he's like my favorite filmmaker or anything. Like I just appreciate that he has like a distinct style and like he's clearly got like a vision, and like even like The Favorite, like who would have thought that would have been enough to make a movie about, but like it was, and it was genuinely like entertaining. So he's got I think he's just like, it's some kind of like blanking on the name, but whatever, the guy who makes like the twee kind of movies,
Wes Anderson,
yeah. Where you're like, they're not my favorite movies, but like he's got a vision. I appreciate that. Like he's doing something, he's doing his own thing, I like Yorgos more than him though, but yeah.
What's great about Lanthimos as well is that he they're not too long. Like I don't,
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
they are, they don't feel it. Like they're a solid like the old movie length where you don't have to sit there for 3.5 hours. They're well
Yeah,
edited
where you
and
like
put
move the
together.
mouse, you're like, how much to go in this thing? What? Still another 45 minutes?
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that was the only kind of big sort of movie I saw last year that sort of rated. About you?
I would say of movies that came out last year, After the Hunt
Oh yeah, I haven't
was
seen that. I want to see it though.
it's
It
good.
looks good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good. And it was interesting because I hadn't read Jack's Twitter thing, but as soon as I was watching this, I'm like, I'm gonna have to like search to see what he said about this because I knew it could have gone either way. And then he
Mm,
was like saying like he thought it was like the best movie of the year, which
mm.
is possibly true. But then when he had that guy, the black film critic guy whose name
Armored White.
but
Yeah.
yeah, he had him on and he was like, "What? Are you joking? That movie sucks." Like, um, so but I could see why because like it sort of is like the premise is like Andrew Garfield's like there's some black chick at the university and she claims that she never says what he does, but she claims that he crossed a line and then she's getting like Julia Roberts to like back her and stuff like that. And she's kind of at first a bit skeptical, like, well, just being like, well, what did he do? Like, tell me what he actually did. She's like, how could you make me repeat this kind of thing?
Mm,
And there's like black chick with like a septum ring and just like some rich, spoiled kid. Like, it's just made to be so like hateable so easily. And
mm,
like, I think it does that thing where it's sort of like, I think it's more like not, it is sort of making a political statement, but it's also, I think, just like, what's his name? Fuck.
Guadagnino.
Guadagnino is sort of just
Mm,
probably more like, oh, I see an interesting story in this
yeah.
kind of thing. And so, because it is more like it does stand alone as just being an interesting story without the political side to it, I
Mm,
think. So I thought it was pretty good. Like it has things where you could be like, oh, maybe it should have gone harder and been more because it still like leaves the door open to whether or not Garfield really did rape her. And I think maybe that's the
mm,
thing is like it's the saying like this political way we deal with it bypasses any chance for any real justice because it immediately
mm,
becomes politicized and you just like the university just has to fire him and stuff like that.
mm.
And then it is like a twist at the end where it's like, what's he doing now? Oh, he's just making tons of money working for the Democrats. Like 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 he's some like political strategist or something like that. Like it's like, don't worry, like this they'll just hire him anyway. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I found it entertaining to watch. I genuinely like every second movie he makes.
Mm,
I loved Challenges, and then the Queer I thought was super boring, and
mm.
I've never seen. He did call him by his name or whatever, right? That was him
Yeah.
too, right?
Yeah.
I'm not watching that. I can tell I find that movie boring. Like, but like the Suspiria remake was really good. So I'm
Mm,
genuinely like a fan of his. I think he does again, like there are a fair few directors nowadays that have interesting styles and are doing good stuff. It's just a weird time for film,
mm,
where you
mm,
kind of like, sucks for you to be making them now, I guess.
mm, mm. Yeah, it does. All right. Is that all your movies? You want to move on to music? I don't have any
Um,
music because I don't really listen to new music. So,
I guess I'll just say for movies is,
mm,
um, what's that Eden movie, the Sydney Sweeney on Galapagos Island thing with Anna Darmus or whatever? It was fun. It was all right.
mm,
Yeah, I don't know.
mm.
Don't have anything too exciting to say about that one, but I watched it. But the one movie I did watch this last year that I've been meaning to watch for years and years was a Serbian film. I finally watched that because like Josie was out for the weekend, and I always joke when she's like, "What do you want to watch tonight?" I'm like, let's watch a Serbian film. She's like, "No, I'm not fucking watching that." And then so she was out, and she's like, "What are you gonna do when I'm around?" I'm like, "I don't know, watch a Serbian film," just as like said as a joke. And then it came to Friday night, and I'm like,
Maybe I'll watch a Serbian film.
yeah, I was like making a fucking Negroni, and I was like, yeah, why not? I was flicking through on my computer like movies I downloaded, and I was like, it's always a movie I've like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sort of apprehensive to watch it because I'm sure it's like horrible in a way, and so I put it on, and it's not as bad as you think it would be. It's kind of funny in a
It's
way.
kind of camp, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like how like over the top it tries to
it's
be.
also kind of like dated. Like I'm like I
Mm,
should have just watched it when it came out because it feels
mm,
kind of like it would have probably been much more exhilarating and like shocking at the time, especially if no one had told me any of the shit from it. Like if I didn't know like the shit that people talk about of it. So, but I watched it and I was kind of like, yeah, this movie's not that bad at all to watch. It's ridiculous. And like, yeah, it just did feel a bit like dated. Like it was like, look, we're trying to be as extreme as possible here. Like, but yeah, it was all right. I'm glad I watched it finally. So
Yeah, I think that came at the tail end of what's often called the new French
yeah,
extremity.
yeah.
Even though a Serbian film is not French, obviously
No.
it's Serbian, but like, European films that I think, were pushing the limits of taste with their violence. A lot of them were French. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so
Like the Catherine Breillat.
yeah, yeah.
Is Michael Haneke French or is he like German or something?
No, but I think
He's
a lot
in
of
that crew. Sort of.
yeah, a lot of the films that he did make in that sort of grouping would have been French, like
Yeah.
Cachet and what was the other one?
Piano
Yeah,
teacher or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like Catherine Breillat a lot. I think
Mm.
of like her and Lars von Trier are kind of the best European directors, I think.
She the one who did was
Oh,
it
and Gaspar Noé, obviously.
yeah.
Sorry. She
Was it
did one.
Catherine Breillat who was the scene where a woman gets a shovel in her pussy or
It's
something?
like a pickaxe or a mattock or
Pickaxe, yeah.
something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's Anatomy of Hell.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
That movie used to be just on Stan. I watched it on Stan, not at all like edited. Like it has like the fucking first scene of the movie. There's just like a get guy blowing a dude, like just straight
Mm.
up, like no censoring or anything like that.
Mm.
Like, and it's it's like kind of like one of those ridiculous movies where it's like this platonic dialogue kind of thing that's
Mm.
playing out.
Mm.
Like she picks up this gay dude from a club and like trying to get him to fuck her kind of thing, but like in this like abject way. And she's like, and he's just like horrified by like periods and things like
Mm.
that. And, ends up like making a tea from like her tampon and like shoves her like at some point, yeah, sticks this like the mattock, like the wooden end into her pussy. And it's just it's a ridiculous movie. It's very compelling. It's a very good
Mm.
movie.
Mm.
And yeah, but the thing is the end of the movie is like he does all this abject stuff to her, but he's the one who's most fucked up by it at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah,
He's like
yeah.
at the end, like, oh my God, this woman just fucking brutalized me. Whereas
Mhm,
like she doesn't
mhm.
like lay a finger on him kind of thing, But it's
Yeah.
just like this it's sort of it's like a feminist in that Parlian way of like women, or like the way like Anna Kachin will tweet like a woman could destroy you at any moment. The only reason she doesn't is because she chooses not to or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like that kind of thing, like where it's definitely worth to watch that one. But
Mm. Mm.
how do we? Oh yeah, Serbian film. That's how we got onto that topic.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I have much more to say about it. Really, like it's just if you're putting off watching it, it's only going to get more stupid seeming the longer you wait. So just watch it now. It's entertaining. It's got like kind of like a revenge act. You've seen it, right?
I've seen like half of it. I
Okay.
didn't really finish it.
Yeah, I mean, it ends on like a funny note kind of thing. Like it ends on just
Mm.
like a sort of little like last little gag kind of thing. Like again, it would have seemed more horrifying maybe in
Mm.
2000 and was it
Mm.
10 or something whenever it came out. Like it would have seemed more crazy back then. Now it's sort of just whatever.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess I don't really have any other movies really worth commenting on. It's nothing to say about Nosferatu or anything like that.
What do you have, like 20 albums then? Mr.
No,
Music
no,
Man?
no, I don't have a lot, to be honest. You said you had none.
No, I don't do music
Yeah, I'd say
anymore.
yeah. I don't really. I
Mm.
generally just stick like my Spotify liked songs on random when I'm driving
Mm.
around,
Mm.
and at home I'll put records on, but I'm not like buying new stuff that really comes
Mm.
out. But two albums that did come out last year that I liked was John Mouse, It's Later Than You Think. John Mouse, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
sort of vaguely right-wing figure or
Mm.
whatever. Yeah, that album's pretty good. I like the title, It's Later Than You Think, that has the
Mhm.
like like you could just hear that and think like, oh, it's past midnight or something like that. You know, it has this other connotation,
Mhm.
like for terms of the West or whatever. And then the first song was that because we built it, and it's like because we built it, we can watch it go up in flames or whatever. And the idea is, I think he's talking about the West. It's like
Mhm. Mhm.
basically the West is burning down, and well, we built it, but we get to like watch it be destroyed, kind of thing. But yeah,
Mhm.
the whole album was good. It had a good vibe to it. Bought tickets to go see him in March or whenever, so I'm looking forward to that. The other
Yeah, cool.
album I liked from last year was Kanye's Donda 2. I thought that was pretty good. It's much
Did you
better.
like the first one?
First Donda's good. Took me a few listens to get into it, but
Yeah,
like,
same.
but it's so long. Like it
Mm.
just keeps going and going. But the more you listen to it, the more you like it. Um, like I'm always, you know, how I always told you, like I just like sing songs to my cat, and they're all just pop songs or whatever that I change the lyrics to. One of the songs I sing to her is like, "Guess who's patting the cat tonight?" uh,
Oh
so
my
yeah,
God, that's good.
yeah. But Donda 2 is it's pretty good. It's got some like because it's sort of more about like the divorce with Kanye, with Kim and stuff. But there's some like really like heartbreaking songs on it and stuff about
Mm.
that. Like 530, and there's a extended version of 530 that's really good, where it's like go listen to Little Baby, go listen to Luca, bitch, like all this stuff like you don't love Ye, you love money bags, like all this stuff like that. The
Mm.
extended version to that's really good. Um, there's also this sci-fi that's a good one, sort of more about like the like a sort of a horror song almost about like the um divorce. And yeah, the whole album was pretty good, but much better than Vultures 2. Vultures 2 I
Yeah.
didn't really care for.
Anything on
Oh,
that album about sucking his cousin's dick or
no, I don't think so. That's just that's that single that like everyone's forgotten about because he immediately like topped it with the Heil Hitler thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's like I went from like walking around my house like singing like I gave my cousin head to like yeah, I don't know if there's because there was like sort of there is an album I think that has both those songs on it, but it was like you have to just like download it from like a torrent site. Like I
Yeah.
forget even what it was called. The album was it World War no, I think there was a track on it called World War Three,
Mm.
but I forget what the album itself was called. Um anyway, whatever.
Mm.
So I don't think unless it's like cryptic or I just missed the lyric. Yeah. So Donna 2 was pretty good. And
Yeah.
then another album I liked that didn't come out 2025, but it came out like the end of 24, and I didn't listen to it till last year, was The Cleansing by Peter Perrett, who I'm
Mm.
sure you've never heard of, but he was the singer of The Only Ones. Um they're like 70s British. They get sort of lumped in with punk, but they're not really punk. They're sort of like actual musicians and stuff like that, like jazz
Mhm.
influence, but like sort of some of their songs are a bit like, you know, you'd know the song Another Girl, Another Planet.
Mm.
That song you would have heard on the radio. That was their biggest hit.
Okay.
It's like I'm not going to try sing it, but that song anyway. The only ones are pretty good. Like they had like 3 albums in the like late 70s that were all really good, and then Peter Parrott's just Peter always sort of does like solo stuff. Like
Mm.
he'll just go quiet for a bunch of years, scrape the heroin gunk off his teeth, and come out and like make like a few albums and then disappear again. So he did that like in the 90s. Like he made like a bunch of there was like I think The One it was called, and then Peter Parrott and The One and stuff like that, and then disappeared kind of thing. And then like a few years ago he started putting out albums again. And so the one he did last year, The Cleansing, was really good. Just like yeah, he just makes good music. It's like
So is it
very
still in that punk vein, or is it sort of like
yeah, like you could see someone calling it punk.
post-punk?
It could be called post-punk. Like the way
Mm.
I think they think of it is like with The Only Ones is punk was kind of this like derailing of the progression of rock and roll as it
Mm.
was. Like, you know, it was like through the 70s, there was sort of like glam rock and just kind of like sort of power pop influenced kind of like sophisticated rock and roll. And it's just sort of on that trajectory, The Only Ones. And they kind of will say like that punk derailed that. And they're just making
Mm.
music that was on the trajectory that rock and roll should have been on if
Mm.
punk didn't come in and like derail it with allow like its democratic way of allowing anyone to then make an album. Just you don't need skills kind of thing.
Mhm.
So there's some songs that are sort of punky, but there's very much you can hear like a jazz influence through it. It's
Mm.
very more high concept things going, but it doesn't sound like experimental music or anything really. Like it's just sounds like just good rock and roll. So
Cool.
yeah, The Cleansing by Peter Parrott. I thought that was good. Yeah,
Awesome. Is that all?
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I got nothing else.
Do you have anything that you're looking forward to this year?
I think Kanye's got another album coming out at the end of the month, Bully.
Mhm.
I don't know what movies are coming out, so I'm sure
Me
there's
neither.
probably something good, and I don't know
Mm.
what books are coming out. So
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to reading more books this year
yeah,
and one of the things that I want to do this year is have more kind of authors on. So
yeah,
that should be good. So all of the people that I spoke about that, the Australian authors will have on, and, people who are releasing books and if they're good, I guess we'll have them on and talk to them and stuff. Because I really like the author interview episodes. They're fun. Because usually it's not necessarily about the book. It's like we spend like 5 minutes on the book and then just talk about a whole heap of other shit. And that's like the
I feel like
best
we
kind of.
didn't even discuss Andrew Edwards' book really, and then I listened to the Red Candy one, and like they barely discuss it either. But
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's because that book's maybe difficult to talk about in that way.
Well, this is coming out before that episode comes out.
Oh
So
yeah, okay.
yeah, we are talking about the future here.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
but yeah. Yeah, like no, it's good just to talk with writers you trust. I love that trust element that you brought up earlier. So yeah, we got some pretty killer suggestions too when I put up the who should we have on question on X. People said like people like what's her name? Anna
Anna
Krivolopova.
Krivolapova.
Krivolopova. Um uh someone also said Elroy. I'm like, could we get Elroy? I don't know. What is he like in
Does he even
interviews?
do?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really watch. I've not really ever watched an interview with him, but I imagine
Mm.
he's kind of like a
Irascible.
prick.
Yeah. Yeah. If only Harlan Ellison was still alive, I'd love to talk to him. That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, even with the libtard atheism and all that, but I could live with that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else is? Yeah. What else? What other suggestions did they make? Um,
For who we should have on.
yeah,
I'll get it up. This is
yeah. I remember Big Mac said Anna and Dustin Cole.
Dustin Cole. Yeah, that was the other one. Have Mamet again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Andrew Edwards said. Um, Andrew was the one who said James Elroy as well.
Oh yeah.
And a few people said Brad Kelly. Kelby said Brian Evanson and Chris Sark Newsom.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll look those people up and yeah. And he also said Broken River Crew, so we can
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we'll be having them on soon, I think, for their respective books. But yeah, 2025 was pretty shit for me in some ways, but
Yeah,
the reading was good, and so yeah, I had that at least.
yeah. Well, my 2024 ended on such a bad note
Mm,
that 2025 could only be better.
mm,
And I'm hoping 2026 is even better again.
yeah.
So
Is that the outro song? Things can only get better.
if you like,
I don't even know who sings that,
no,
but anyway,
I have no idea.
you can make it your own music
I was
savant
just gonna put a Peter
version.
Parrott song because I
Oh,
figured
that's
people know
all
who
right.
Kanye and John Mouse is. So
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, great list. And here's to 2026 and more great books and music and films and maybe even some video games. Who knows?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have been playing a lot of Death Stranding.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Man, you can just kill 150 hours on that game so easily.
I love that it's delivering packages and that's your actual job. And then you come home and play a video game delivering packages.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. That's something that should be in a novel, really.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's retarded. Like, but like there's something to it's the genius of the game where it's like it doesn't really get boring. I'm sure it will eventually, but like it's like, I actually like looking at the map and plotting out at things and like seeing the little like stars increase and stuff like that. Like it really like because how it's like you get likes in it. It really like hijacks that kind of like human like, oh, I like to see the stats increasing. Like
yeah. Yeah, he's such a good game designer. Like
Yeah.
not only like the concepts and like the weird dialogue, but just the design of the game mechanics themselves. Like he's so good at that. Yeah. I guess we'll see you next week. Well, next week we will be talking to Andy Edwards about his new book Crowbar, which was a great discussion.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's 2026 and more good reading. Right? See you later.
See ya.
Battle, trying to be sane, leaves me tired and listless. If I'm gonna jump in front of a train, I'll wait till after Christmas. Don't wanna overstay my welcome. Don't wanna overstay my welcome. Like hypothermia in the coldest place, too easy to accept its warm embrace. 'Cause I don't wanna overstay my welcome. I wanna go with dignity, please help me. Thinking there was something you could do, it's bad. I know that it's true. The world changed when she turned blue. Please help me. So wanna overstay my welcome. I wanna go with dignity. Please help me. I wanna go with dignity. Please help me.